तो भाई चलते हैं 3.41A की तरफ. दिस इज स्लाइटली डिफरेंट देन व्हाट वी हैव डन फॉरवर्ड रेट एग्रीमेंट टिल नाउ. आई विल शो यू व्हाट्स द डिफरेंस. सिंपल है सम. Two companies ABC Limited and XYZ Limited approached DF Bank for FRA, forward rate agreement. They want to borrow a sum of rupees 100 crores after 2 years for a period of 1 year. यानी ये हो गया 2/3 FRA. Bank has calculated yield curve of both the companies as follows. ठीक है. अगर हम नोटिस करो ABC लिमिटेड का रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट ज्यादा है, राइट, बिकॉज दैट्स कंप्लीटली बेस्ड ऑन द क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस ऑफ द एंटिटी. द डिफरेंस इन द यील्ड कर्व इज ड्यू टू लो क्रेडिट रेटिंग ऑफ ABC लिमिटेड कंपेयर्ड टू XYZ लिमिटेड. You are required to calculate the rate of interest DF Bank would quote under 2 versus 3 FRA using the company's yield information as quoted above. Suppose bank offers interest rate guarantee for a premium of 1%, 0.1%, ये अलग है इस सम के अंदर, of the amount of loan. You are required to calculate the interest payable by XYZ Limited if the interest rate is in 2 years turns out to be 4.5% and 5.5%. ठीक है, बहुत ही मैनेजेबल सम, राइट. और चलिए शुरू करते हैं एंड देखते हैं that how it is slightly bit different, especially the B part, how it is little different than what we've done till now. चलिए ये सॉल्व कर लेते हैं अभी. You are required to calculate the rate of interest DF Bank would quote under 2 versus 3 FRA using the company's yield information as quoted above. पहले given, wants to borrow 100 crores after 2 years for 1 year. ठीक है. Computation of interest rate. ठीक है. नाउ ओवर हियर ये आपको बॉन्ड चैप्टर में ज्यादा कवर किया जाएगा. इसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? ऑब्वियसली दीज आर गिवन एज यील्ड कर्व, यानी YTMs है ये. व्हाट आर दीज? YTMs. ठीक है. बट वी हैव टू फिगर आउट दिस इज रेट फॉर 1 year, दिस इज रेट फॉर 2 years. सेकेंड ईयर नहीं, दोनों में डिफरेंस है इंग्लिश का. रेट फॉर 3 years, नॉट थर्ड ईयर. तो हमको फिगर आउट करना है सेकेंड और थर्ड ईयर के बीच का रेट, विच इज ऑल्सो टर्म्ड एज फॉरवर्ड इंटरेस्ट रेट. ठीक है, एक बार बॉन्ड चैप्टर में रेफर कर लेना इसके लिए. ठीक है, so that will give you a better idea of things. Bond is a chapter which will come much later on. तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ यहाँ आपको एक एग्जाम्पल करा ही देता हूँ, इससे कि आपको क्लैरिटी बन जाएगी थोड़ी. फॉरवर्ड रेट क्या होता है? सी YTM इज वन सिंगल रेट. फॉरवर्ड रेट इज ईयरली रेट्स. अब आपको एक उसका सीधा सा लॉजिक बता रहा हूं. मानिए कि YTM yield to maturity 3 years सिक्योरिटी इज देयर, राइट. तो टाइम पीरियड 3 years है सिक्योरिटी का. इसका YTM is say 11%, राइट. यानी ये 11% कंपाउंडेड एनुअल ग्रोथ रेट है और कंपाउंडेड एनुअल रिटर्न है. ठीक है, ये हो गया आपका YTM, यील्ड टू मैच्योरिटी. मैच्योरिटी तक क्या रेट, एनुअल रेट ऑफ रिटर्न दे रहा है ये, कंपाउंडेड. YTM इज ऑलवेज कंपाउंडेड, रिमेंबर दैट. ठीक है. नाउ आई से फर्स्ट ईयर्स रिटर्न is 9%. Second year return is 10%. Find the third year return. तो मानिए कि 100 रुपए आपने इन्वेस्ट किया आज, invested today. As per the YTM information, it should grow to how much? कह सकते हैं, कैन आई से दैट? $136.7631. डन. ठीक है. थ्रू YTM मैकेनिज्म. नाउ इंडिविजुअली ये कैसे ग्रो कर रहा है? टुडे आई हैव इन्वेस्टेड ₹100. एंड ऑफ फर्स्ट ईयर grow to ₹109. Second year $119.9. Third year it has to come to how much? 136.7631. So what should be the percentage jump from second year to third year such that 119.90 to it goes to 136.7631? This rate is the forward rate, the rate for the third year, not 3 years basically, right? YTM for 3 years is 11%, but what is the third year's rate of return? So now we can compute as we know the data. Sir, where you got 9% and 10%? From my imagination. एग्जाम्पल दे रहा हूं यार. $14.064%. Can there be another way out to find the forward rate for the third year? Very much. $1.11 cube should give the same return as 1.09 into 1.10 into 1 plus x. x आ गया थर्ड ईयर का रेट, खत्म हो गया, सिंपल. एक पर्टिकुलर पीरियड का रेट फॉर दैट पीरियड वो फॉरवर्ड रेट है. वन कंपोजिट रेट इज YTM. कंपोजिट रेट जो YTM है दैट्स कंपाउंडिंग. फॉरवर्ड रेट इज सिंपल, राइट. तो ये जानना क्यों जरूरी है? आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड एज आई टोल्ड यू मच मोर इन बॉन्ड्स, बट आई विल टेल यू वन थिंग. See, YTM and forward rates should be in such a manner that they should ultimately lead to same returns. Otherwise, there would be arbitrage opportunities available. मानो कि यहां ये 14.64 की जगह if it was 17% in the third year, so obviously people would borrow at YTM rate and individually invest at forward rates 9, 10 and लास्ट में 17 मिल जाए तो क्या बात. सो देयर वुड बी आर्बिट्राज गेन्स. करेक्ट, ठीक है. सो ओवर हियर इसको फॉरवर्ड रेट बोला जाता है. दैट्स नॉट कंपाउंडेड. YTM इज कंपाउंडेड. YTM इज वन सिंगल रेट फॉर ऑल द years. This forward rate is that particular year's rate. It can be also in shorter time frames for months, right? So you can have a YTM for 1 year, right? Obviously YTM for 1 year and forward for 1 year would be one and the same. Compounding brings about the change, the time brings about the change, right? जैसे मैं आपको बोलूं कि 9% is the forward rate for the first year, as well as the YTM, right? ठीक है. लेकिन 2 years 3 years जब टाइम होराइजन आना शुरू हो जाता है, ऑब्वियसली फॉरवर्ड रेट इज ईयर टू ईयर, वेयर एज YTM इज वन कंपोजिट फॉर द एंटायर टाइम होराइजन दैट यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग. ठीक है, तो वहां फॉरवर्ड रेट एंड YTM अलग हो जाएगा. मोर डिटेल्स इन बॉन्ड चैप्टर. अगर I just didn't wanted you to stumble on this sum without having a knowledge of YTM and forward. At least you have now a ground as to what is YTM. One single rate covering the entire period, forward rate piece by piece. And that period is broken down into parts. One part ka rate is forward rate, right? First year forward rate, second year forward rate, third year forward rate. YTM is for 3 years, 11%, right? Got it? So और यील्ड कर्व और वो सारी जानकारी, तो सर ये सब वहां बॉन्ड में रख देते हैं. प्रॉब्लम क्या है बेटा? बिकॉज हियर वी आर डिस्कसिंग FRA. FRA इज द मेन थिंग दैट वी आर सपोज टू डिस्कस. इसमें ये लोगों ने दे हैव मिक्स्ड द YTM and forwards. That's why if I could have kept it in the bond, first part would seem really relevant, but the second part would seem completely irrelevant because bonds and FRA don't go together, right? तो वहां ये टॉपिक नहीं रहता तब. ठीक है. So I had to choose one place. I have kept it over here. You are required to calculate the rate of interest DF bank would quote 2/3 FRA. Obviously, after 2 years they are going to borrow for a period of 1 year. तो बेसिकली हमको कौन सा इंटरेस्ट रेट चाहिए? एंड ऑफ 2 years, यानी थर्ड ईयर पीरियड के लिए हमको इंटरेस्ट रेट चाहिए. We require the forward rate. YTMs are given. You have to calculate forward as we just learnt now. So that would be the rate quoted by the bank after 2 years. ठीक है. We have got 2 year YTM. First year, second year, first year, first 2 years and 3 years. तो हम लोग यहाँ क्या यूज कर सकते हैं? मेरा जो एग्जाम्पल था बहुत सिंपल था, राइट? इसमें लेकिन ये सारे इन्होंने YTMs दिए हुए हैं. तो 4.20 is YTM for 2 years. Third year would be 1 plus R. $5.042. See, we could solve it by the ऊपर वाला mechanism, but that will be really tedious. I'll just show you in rough how we can do that with our example wala mechanism. First year YTM and forward is one and the same, so I can write the first year forward rate as 3.86. Now I need to find out the second year forward rate. तो second year का forward rate क्या होगा? Just show in rough and then rub it. So if you want to, in case you want to copy it, this is applicable for 2 years. Correct. First year का है 1.0386. So we get the second year का forward rate R. Can be solved like this, but becomes tedious. (4.541%). ठीक है. Now you can plug this 1.0448 YTM, first year forwards, second year forwards, third year forwards. Mathematically means one and the same thing. And 0.448. (5.042). ठीक है, वही मिल रहा है अपन को यहाँ पे. डन. लेकिन ये थोड़ा टीडियस मेथड हो जाएगा. ऑब्वियस सी बात है, the 1.042 जो 2 year YTM है is made out of 2 forwards, right? So if I am taking 1.042 square, I'm incorporating the first 2 years forwards. Third year का forward निकाला जो उनको चाहिए था for the purpose of quotation, and 3 year YTM के साथ उसको calculate कर लिया, and we get our third year forward rates which would be quoted by the bank. For दूसरा कौन सा है? ABC है. Similar thought process in this as well. (6.38325) है. This would be quoted by the bank, right? Considerably higher than what it would offer to XYZ. Obviously credit worthiness ABC की कम है, तो interest rate charged would be greater. The rate quoted by the bank for FRA. Sir, in real life, do they look at the yield curves and all that? Not precisely. It is a mechanism through which the sum could be made longer, right? तो credit worthiness measure करने का अलग mechanism भी होते हैं. So they have just tried to add that little bit of twist that forward rates get in, YTMs get in between the calculation. तो आपको उसको उतना सीरियसली या टेंस्ड मैनर में नहीं लेना है. This is just another twist added to the sum in order to get to the rate. That would be nothing but FRA rate. क्या है? The rate which can be fixed by the parties, right? ठीक है. तो बैंक और XYZ Limited, bank and ABC Limited can fix these FRAs, right? When these companies are individually borrowing 100 crores each, they can fix this on forward rate agreements. Obviously, if the interest rate goes high, the bank will pay to them. Interest rate goes low because these are borrowers, right? They are going to benefit out of it. They need to pay to the bank such that their effective rate of interest, what we have learned till now, beta, such that effective rate of interest for XYZ would be 5.042 and for ABC Limited it would be 6.383%, right? लेकिन कहानी में हल्का सा ट्विस्ट है. सेकेंड पार्ट, व्हेन वी कम टू द FRA पार्ट, यहां तक मेरे हिसाब से एकदम क्लियर हो जाना चाहिए. सो दिस इज जस्ट नथिंग बट एन एडेड मैकेनिज्म टू कंफ्यूज यू एंड डिले द एंटायर प्रोसेस ऑफ गेटिंग टू द FRA. नाउ सेकेंड में भी हल्का ट्विस्ट दिया हुआ है. सपोज बैंक ऑफर्स इंटरेस्ट रेट गारंटी फॉर प्रीमियम ऑफ 0.1%. What we have learned in FRA till now is there is no premium in this, right? So whichever party is wrong, right, makes a payment to the party who is right. In other words, the party who is wrong, who was worried about loss, is actually making a benefit, so he passes on the benefit to the other party, right? ये FRA का बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट है, ठीक है. बट यहाँ ये लोग ने प्रीमियम ला दिया पिक्चर में. नाउ वंस प्रीमियम कम्स इनटू पिक्चर, obviously such kind of settlement goes out of picture. मतलब once premium is paid for FRA, if you are wrong, right, in other words, if you benefit out of the contract, you were worried about the detriment but you were wrong, you are actually benefiting, you need not pass on the benefit to the other party. ये याद रखना, right? But if you are right regarding your worries regarding the interest rate, for example, I am a borrower, I am worried about increase in interest rate. Actually there is an increase in interest rate under FRAs that we have learned till now. हम लोग क्या करते हैं, हम लोग FRA contract we have entered into with the bank, the interest rate increases, the bank pays us a certain amount such that we remain at that fixed interest rate, the one which was fixed under FRA. The net effect is that, ठीक है. And if we were wrong, interest rate goes down, as a borrower we should be happy, right? And interest rate goes down, we are saving money, right? We are paying effectively less interest rate. Then in that case we need to pay to the bank such that we remain at that fixed rate of interest which is decided under the FRA, ठीक है. यहाँ once premium comes into picture, right, if you are suffering a detriment you can demand the money, but if you are making a benefit you obviously needn't pay, right? So it becomes more or less like a derivative option instrument, right? So that is the shift over here in the thought process. Suppose bank offers interest rate guarantee for a premium of 0.1% of the amount of loan. You are required to calculate the interest payable by XYZ Limited. So we have to do only for XYZ if interest rate in 2 years turns out to be following, right? Computation of premium. $100 crores to 0.1%. That's 0.1 crore or 10 lakhs. डन. 10 लाख आ गया हमारा प्रीमियम जो हमको भरना ही भरना है. डन. रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट फिक्स्ड अंडर FRA फॉर XYZ लिमिटेड क्या आएगा? 5.042. Outcome under scenario 1. What is that? The interest rate falls to 4.5%. हमने कहाँ फिक्स किया था? 5.042 means if the interest rate goes above 5.042 we can take money from the bank, right? Interest rate कितना है भाई? 4.5%. कोई टेंशन लेने वाली बात नहीं है. Just like an option contract, FRA would not be exercised. Interest paid ₹100 crores. Premium 0.1 CR. ₹4.6 crores. कितना बोल रहे हैं इंटरेस्ट रेट? 5.5%. ₹5.5 crores. ₹0.1 crores. ठीक है. प्रीमियम पेड. FRA सेटलमेंट रिसीव्ड. कितना मिलेगा अपन को? This is the extra that will be paid by the bank to us. नेट कितना आएगा बाल को? 5.6 minus 0.48, 458. 5.142 crores, right? Will it ever go above 5.142? The answer is no. If the interest rate turns to 8%, 8 crores you pay, no problem. But obviously anything above 5.042, to whatever percentage you have to pay would be received as an FRA settlement, right, from the bank, in which you have entered into an FRA transaction. They have to pay it to you. Hana, or premium paid was static amount, under any condition that cost will remain a cost. So 5.042, right, percent, that is the FRA fixed rate at which the FRA is entered into, and 0.1% of premium, dono jod do, you will get 5.142%. basically of 100 crores is 5.142 crores. तो आपका amount static रह जाएगा, no matter where the interest rate goes. If it comes down, you benefit out of it. So here FRA has been made to look more like options, right? ठीक है, यहाँ अगर आपको आंसर में इफेक्टिव इंटरेस्ट रेट लिखना है तो आप लिख सकते हो. इट्स इंक्लूसिव ऑफ प्रीमियम. ठीक है, हमने अमाउंट कैलकुलेट कर दिया और इंटरेस्ट रेट भी लिख दिया है. Had it been a सादा वाला FRA, the normal one, where no premium comes into picture, it's just an observation. FRA rate 5.042%. Had this gone down to 4.5%, right, क्या कैलकुलेशन आ जाएगा? into 100 CR, ठीक है, डिवाइडेड बाय क्या था, ये था ना 5.042. ठीक है, .5187 0.5187 crores हमको देने पड़ते. Who has to pay to whom? Customer is to pay to bank. Obviously कहाँ से पैसे निकालेगा वो बंदा? He'll take a loan. His loan amount would be 100.5187 crores, right, which he would pay 4.5% on. So 100.5187 is the amount you would end up paying, right? 105.042 crores, यानी effectively 5.042. यहाँ हम लोग का बच रहा है पैसा. ठीक है, we are paying much less because of this premium component kicking in. We don't have to pay anything right? When we go wrong, we were worried about interest rate going up, so we entered into FRA, we went wrong, the interest rate came down, actually we ended up benefiting. Need we pay anything? No, because we already have paid premium, right? तो ये रेगुलर FRA के अंदर होगा इस तरह से, right? Obviously at 5.5%, bank will pay to us the difference amount such that we'll end up at 105.042 as we have learned till now, right? तो मेरे हिसाब से वो करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है. डन. तो ये हो गया हमारा सम समाप्त. Two things you have to be careful on this kind of an FRA sum. Part 1, keep an eye on the forward rate. Forward rate is that individual rate for that particular period, right? And it's not one entire rate. One entire rate is YTM. So first we calculate forward rate, the rates which would be used for the purpose of FRA transaction, right? Now they told if XYZ Limited goes ahead and fixes an FRA forward rate agreement based on the third year forward rate, so computed, क्योंकि 2 versus 3 पहले 2 साल कुछ नहीं है, second to third year यानी end of year 2 to end of year 3, right? The actual borrowing process begins. So we want to help ourselves by fixing our borrowing cost. Our borrowing cost would be fixed at 5.042, but the twist in the tail is it is not both the parties who are committed to make a payment. It becomes more like an option, right? So what do you do over here? You make a premium payment. Premium payment on what? On the entire principal of 100 crores, right? The entire notional amount of 100 crores. तो उसके ऊपर 10 lakh आप premium upfront pay कर देते हो. Now what happens? Interest rate goes down. Typically under the you can see the normal FRA, what happens is we are benefiting, we pay to the bank such that our net effective interest rate turns out to be 5.042%, but that isn't the case because this is premium wala. Here you have to be careful. So effective 4.6% हमको पड़ेगा. Why? Because we didn't pay anything barring the premium, right? यहाँ अगर आप देखोगे आउटकम, अगर अंदर सेकेंड सिनेरियो में क्या है, यहाँ हम लोग को प्रीमियम हमने पे किया, इंटरेस्ट हमने जो पे करना था किया, और हमको FRA सेटलमेंट के लिए हमको पैसा मिलेगा. किसके पास से? बैंक के पास से मिलेगा, राइट? ये ट्रेडिशनल फॉरवर्ड रेट एग्रीमेंट से हल्का अलग है. यहाँ हमने जो अमाउंट्स दिए हैं वो देखिए, ट्रेडिशनल फॉरवर्ड में हम लोग क्या करते हैं, फर्स्ट FRA सेटलमेंट लिया जाता है या दिया जाता है, वी आइदर पे और रिसीव, राइट? एंड देन अगेन फ्रॉम देयर द लेंडिंग बोरोइंग पीरियड, तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, lending or borrowing period, forward rate agreement period, FRA settlement, and यहाँ contract. Enter into contract, there's an FRA period, FRA settlement, lending borrowing, right? So 105.042 is net at the end, right? So what we are calculating over here is the net end figures, right? ठीक है, वो ध्यान रखना प्लीज. 5.042 on 100 is the net end figure. So what we have calculated 4.6 CR, 5.142 crores, the net end period interest यानी इफेक्टिव हमने वो पे किया है उन लोगों को, ठीक है. On under the FRA contract saved us. In case of premium, it saves us. If the interest rate goes high, I'm talking about a borrower story. If it goes down, right, we end up making, you can say, some bit of advantage by cost reduction. तो ये हो गया बड़ा सिंपल सा, ठीक है. मेरे खुद के कुछ इनपुट्स है इसके ऊपर जो मैं अभी देना नहीं चाहता हूँ, राइट? Why unnecessarily complicate the story, ठीक है. ये कब आया था? RTP नवंबर 2019 में, ठीक है. तो बस सिंपल है सारा कैलकुलेशन, और फाइनल इंटरेस्ट पे आउट कितना आ रहा है वो बता देना है अपने को. चलिए अब आगे बढ़ते हुए